BarbacoaCore, a podcast network.
What is up, everybody? Thank you for coming back to the BarbacoaCore Podcast, the return of the original BarbacoaCore Podcast.
Gone but not forgotten.
No, almost forgotten. I almost forgot about it, but then I was like, oh, shit, I got all these pins and T-shirts. Maybe I should go back to the BarbacoaCore Podcast. My guests today are my best buddies in comedy, Joey Smith and Brendon Potter. What's going on, fellas?
What is up? Thanks for having us back, man.
Yeah, man, this is going to be fun, man.
Me back.
I'm going to change it up. I want to have multiple people on. We're missing one guy. Byers couldn't make it because he had to do a fucking show in New Braunfels and shit.
With a cat in the audience. He sent us a picture of the crowd. It's literally just one cat.
Tons of pussy.
It's a pussy. Like, half the audience is, like, really pussy, so
Yeah.
it's good. I'm pretty sure he's doing good. I'll have him on here soon enough. But before we jump into it, man, social medias, Joey, anything you got going on? Social medias?
I got a couple shows I'll be announcing pretty soon. I didn't get any confirmations on them or anything yet, so I don't want to give free plugs if I'm not even going to get to be there, you know. So I'll just do my Insta is the Joey Smith 9000, and just hit me up on that. Facebook's Joey Smith. Good luck finding me. So
Yeah. What about you, Potter?
I'm kind of in between shows right now. No, I am Twitter and Instagram on Pots on Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's easy to find, man. Like, a lot of people have, like, 3 different handles for 3 different shits. Like, nobody's going to find you, man.
Yeah.
Like, you're just making yourself, like, unfindable.
I never use Instagram. You guys use Instagram?
I love Instagram. Instagram and Twitter. I'm trying to fuck with Twitter more. The whole thing with Facebook, it's not even private. It's not even, like, personal anymore. I've gotten so many people just fucking adding me, like, other comics from, like, Atlanta. I was like, are you going to come to my show, bitch? Like,
No, I like when someone does one open mic and they're like, we're friends now.
Yeah.
yeah.
And you're like, hey, please,
Bitch,
we can be friends.
That's
But,
how
like,
we met, actually. So I was like, I think I recognize you, so friendly.
we did the random ad?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But yeah, people take that shit so seriously. Like, one of my favorite comics in San Antonio decided that he wanted to ask people to unfriend him from Facebook
Oh, yeah. I saw
if they
that.
don't talk to him or fuck with him in real life. And
Oh, yeah.
and then another comic says, like, bro, how you gonna grow your fan base?
Yeah.
And his reply to this comic who has been in the game for a while and understands growing fan bases and all that stuff, his reply was, fuck him. Which I'm like,
Well, maybe you meant literally.
all right.
I think we need more people with that mentality, you know? I think that's a good thing. Like, fuck them, you know what I mean? Like, my last day of my 2 weeks is on Friday, and I'm thinking about just going in drunk. Fuck them, you know what I mean? I don't even...
What are you gonna do? Fire me?
Yeah. 'Cause my boss asked me 3 times, am I coming in on Friday? He's not going to be surprised, you know? Like,
Yeah.
He's like, whatever, dude. Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
Fuck him. That's a good mentality. I'm like, and you know what? Honestly, fuck him. Like, it's not...
Dude, how stress-free have the last few days been
Like,
for
to
you at
wake up
job?
and
Like,
know that don't
since you
give
know
a
you're out of
fuck.
there, how's it been?
It's been half and half because there's like part of me feels like, oh, they know I don't care,
Right.
So they're like questioning me on things and stuff. And they're just like, are you coming to work tomorrow? But like, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good I gave you a fucking month notice. I'm gonna work it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been pretty dope. Like I haven't been like stressing on getting there early or anything. Like, my boss was like, let's get there before 7 today. And I was like, oh, yeah, for sure. And at like 7:07, I was like, oh, man, let's get ready to walk out this house, man. He hit me up. He's like, I'm about to leave. And I was like, shit, you read my mind, dude. What's up?
Dude, there's nothing better than quitting a job and just serving out those last couple of weeks and just you feel untouchable.
Yeah. Well, I was telling him today when I worked at Cane's, they didn't even let me finish my 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't understand why a business would let you finish the full
No,
2.
I have no. I got like 4 days into it, and they're like, "You can go, you can go. It's okay."
Man, I had a job. This is how stupid I am. I had a job where I was on salary, right?
Right.
And they were gonna let me go. You know, they were gonna let go of my position and stuff. And they're like, so you could stay here for 2 weeks and finish up, clean up everything that you got, or you could leave now. And I was like, no, I'll do the 2 weeks. And then as I'm walking out, I was like, they were gonna pay me just like
They
go
were gonna
home.
pay you out?
Yeah.
Oh man, Canes paid me out. They were like, the district manager was like, I just don't let people work their 2 weeks up. I'll pay you. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, like they were just gonna pay me for those 2 weeks without coming into work, and I was like, no, I'll still come in. Like,
Yeah.
I love this place. Y'all letting me go. Like, yeah, I got nowhere else to go. And I was like, I'm a fucking idiot, man. Other than that,
You're like a Toys R Us employee.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm gonna ride and die with this.
I'll go down with this ship. But yeah, that's when I knew, like, oh man, I'm a fucking idiot, dude.
Dude, I felt bad one time. I was at a job, and it was the job I had right before I moved to Texas. So I knew I was going to move like way in advance, like 3-4 months out. But I didn't tell anybody, and I was just going to submit my 2-week notice. And like 3 weeks before I was about to move, me and a bunch of people get called in the office, and just big layoffs. They were going to let everybody go. And I had already told my manager, like, hey, in a week I'm submitting a 2-week notice. And so
You gave
luckily,
them a week notice before you put in your 2 weeks notice?
just because we were cool.
Yeah.
Just because we were cool. It's not like I was like, hey, officially, like, I had like a 3-week notice that was like a red slip. It's going to get pink next
So you
time.
were one of the layoffs?
So I was one of the layoffs. So I'm sitting there. They went through everything. There's probably like 10 people in there. They go through everything. And it was at a call center. So they were like, I worked for Apple at the call center. And they were like, we also have like positions at AT&T. And like, it sounded like they basically were trying to fire us. Because they were like, we could try and move you into those positions, but those won't be for like another week and whatever. And so like everybody's sitting around who just got fired in like this group of 10 people. And I raised my hand and I was like, hey man, like I already let like the manager know that like I'm like leaving for Texas in 3 weeks. Like I'm moving. And I was going to submit my 2-week notice in like a week. And they're like, oh really? I'm like, yeah. They're like, okay, well, you're excused then. So I like get up to walk out. And there's 9 other people in this room that have been fired. And they're like, hey, can you send Devin in? So I walked back to my desk, told Devin, who sat like 3 seats down from me, like, hey, man, they have a meeting in the office. Like, can you go to the meeting? And
You
like,
didn't tell him?
how can I tell him, man?
Dude, I'd have told him. I'd be like, yo, you're about to go get fired, dog.
Hey, you just took my spot. Like,
That's crazy, dude. But at least it was like a legitimate layoff. And how did they know off the top that that's who was next?
Like they have a list of people who they're taking over, who the people who's not. Like I've been like one of the only ones that for a layoff or a contract switchover that
stayed.
didn't get a job. Like everybody else got hired for that next job, and like I was like one of the ones there. Did you hear anything yet? Like no, and then I never heard anything, and I was like, guess I'm looking for a different job with different people. Yeah, I'm really bad. I'm surprised I've had this job that I have for so long.
Me too.
And I think that's why I'm staying there because I don't know if I could go anywhere else. So that sucks. Anyway, Kobe.
you sound like a battered woman, man. I don't know if I could go anywhere
I don't know
else.
if anybody else would love me.
Yeah.
Or at least welcome me every morning back.
You're like the benefits.
Yeah, the benefits are good. I don't use them, but it's just in case. In case
Yeah.
I do have a heart attack soon and shit.
Yeah. Well, you're old as fuck. So,
I am, man.
You know.
How old are you? 34?
35, 37.
Oh, shit. Nice.
Damn. He's like an old woman. They're just like, I'm going to just stick with 35 for a while.
I've thought about it. I've thought about just saying 35. And then I was like, why? For sure, I'm 37 always, forever 37.
Yeah.
That seems like a good place. Like, oh, you're old, but you're not that old type of thing.
That seems like the mature thing for a 44-year-old to do, too.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah, no, that makes
Do you,
sense.
do you think 40 is going to like affect you mentally?
I'm hoping to be dead by then.
Yeah.
So I'm 37 for life, bro.
You missed the Amy Winehouse number.
What is that? Oh, 27. Yeah.
You missed that club.
Everybody with the 20s. Yeah, man. I
missed
wasn't.
it.
I wasn't at my peak of anything at 27. So I was like, if I died, there would be like, no.
Damn, I know Joey's not going to be hitting any peaks by 27.
Yeah, I don't know.
Twin Peaks.
I don't know if I'll even get my cholesterol where I want it by 27. You know what
I mean, it'll
Like,
definitely be peaked.
Yeah,
by then.
like it might go the complete opposite route actually.
Yeah.
It's just like
Well, what's good about you? Like you're a very old soul, old liver, old heart.
yeah, old
Old
kidneys for sure.
Yeah.
Bad kidneys run in my family, bad man. My
Yeah,
mom
man.
called me the other day and was just like telling me about her shopping spree, and then she was just like, yeah, and I'm in stage 4 liver failure. And I was like, how you just slide that into the conversation? Like, you know, like
Yeah.
How many stages?
there's only 4. It's
There's
like
only
cancer.
4. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, she was just like, yeah, I'm into like she's like, yeah, we went to Walmart, we got this, we went to the doctor for dad. Yeah, I'm in stage 4 liver cancer, or not liver, stage 4 kidney failure. And I'm like, what's that mean? You just like slid there and she's like, it means I'm dying. And I was like, all right, calm down. Like, don't take that spot. But like,
Yeah.
you know, like
Can we go back to the last thing? How I picked up double stuffed Oreos?
yeah, like she's like, I don't know why my kidneys are failing, but could you pass me my pills? I'm like, oh, okay.
Like there was a time, I think, I wasn't part of it, but where like the whole health fad, like everybody was wanting to be healthy and all that stuff, and now everybody's just giving into like, well, I'm gonna die sooner or later, so let's just go out with a bang type of shit, ride with these pills that the doctors give me. Like nobody really gives a fuck. Like everybody's just fine with dying. They're like, let's get it done, man.
Well, let me ask you a question. You ever tried Adderall?
Yeah. I've never been prescribed Adderall, if that's your
okay.
question.
Well, I'm glad you just said, oh my God, he amazing.
Dude, so what does Adderall do? Doesn't it make you like concentrate quite a bit? Tell somebody who's
I mean, it does.
It's supposed to be for people with ADHD, I think.
right.
And it's somehow it's supposed to help them stay focused and all that stuff, or help them like stay settled rather than being like all over the place. If you don't have whatever the ADHD or whatever the prescription is prescribed for,
Right.
it's a party pretty much. It's a pretty much
Bro, like
party.
if you ever want to be like laser focused on something and like nothing else matters, that's your drug of choice, man.
Oh shit.
Like it's one of those things where like you take it and you're like I used to take one at like 4 a.m. and go clean my entire restaurant. And then my GM would be like, "Oh my God, what happened?" And I'd be like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "This is the great clothes from last night, man. What are you talking about?" Like
I was just really inspired.
Like, give it up for
man.
Mabry.
They're
He's
like,
killing
yeah.
it, man.
They're like-
Mabry'd come in the morning like, the fuck you talking about?
They're like, the reverence this guy shows for this Peter Piper is unrivaled.
Yeah.
He doesn't even work
I'm more
here.
of a Papa John's guy, okay? Chill out,
He doesn't
man.
even work here. He just shows up at 4 a.m. and we let him in. He cleans the
He
place.
just won't leave from behind the prize counter. We don't know what's going on with this dude. Stop grabbing the Chinese finger traps like that. Stop it.
That was one of my jobs in Seattle, was to clean bars at like, at like 5 o'clock in the morning and all that shit. And the manager would always offer me uppers, and I was like, "Nah, man, I don't want to do this." He's like, "You sure? It might help you get the job faster." I was like, "You're a really bad boss, man. Like you should be saying like no drugs while you're on, like there's insurance involved, there's liability, and you're like, do you want to fucking get up?"
Yeah, well, he
that-
owned a bar. He wasn't managing the
Yeah.
World Trade Center.
No, he
like,
didn't.
that dude was a genius. Like he was trying to get you to like snap into the team that was,
was
like
your
killing
boss
it.
Gary Vanderchuk? Like,
I guess he figured if I'm paying you hourly, let's just cut back on the hours, man. Higher productivity. Let's get out of here by sunrise.
Worst,
dude, what were you gonna say?
worst job you ever had?
I did want to talk about the worst employee I ever had work
Oh
for
yeah,
me.
do that then.
It was this chick at Freebirds, and mind you, at Freebirds, like the manager got fired for sexual harassment. So that day, the entire staff quit. It was just me. They were just like, "Congratulations, you're now the GM."
Wait,
and
so are you the one that he sexually harassed? Because everybody else was like, no, man, this is bullshit.
It was me and the girl he sexually harassed. They're the only 2 employees
She
left.
stayed?
She stayed.
Wow, man.
And then, well, there was 2 of them that had claims again. They both stayed. And so it was the 3 of us in this restaurant. Mind you, we had to be open like 12 hours a day for fucking 7 days a week. So I have to go through this like mass hiring. I don't have time to train people. There's this one chick that seems pretty normal. So I'm like, whatever, she's breathing and she's normal. She sounds great. So I bring her in, and like very like within 2 weeks, I was like, oh, she's a crackhead. And there was one day where like I was super short staffed and like everything was going crazy, and she was like cleaning, and my district manager was there, and he was like, "You know she's on meth, right?" And I was like, I mean, how do you know?
Yeah.
'Cause I'm not gonna be the one that's like, stop cleaning so fast. You know what I mean? Like, that's not my business. Like what she
Yeah.
does with her life. But she was like wiping all the chairs down very aggressively with like sanitizer in the middle of a giant rush.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, she's just not even good at this. So just leave her out there doing that. And she cleaned the whole lobby in like 10 minutes. And he was like, yeah, dude, she's on meth for sure. And I was like, yeah, well, she's good at her job.
She's good at her job, man. Like, if I don't know, if drugs help you be better, because a lot of times drugs will make you a bad person.
Yeah, well, that was before the call-ins and all that stuff, like the crazy meth stuff started. That was like the
When it really took a
euphoric
hold of
meth
her.
phase for a little bit.
She was in the honeymoon meth phase.
Yeah, exactly. That's honestly the Beth phase.
the meth phase. That's what you get for making fun of that dude whose jacket you're wearing.
Yeah, Daniel, I have your jacket on. I'm sorry, buddy, but hey, man, where the bitches at? You know what I'm saying?
It's a little methed up.
that is a little meth. Daniel used to tell me how he used to do meth back in the day. Maybe that's what gave him the lisp.
You're like a meth magnet, dude. Like,
Dude, all my old friends.
all your
do
old
meth.
friends are meth.
I'm like, honestly, if you saw my friends, you'd be like, how have you never done meth?
Yeah.
But the one time I was offered it, the guy threatened to like beat me up because I wouldn't take it.
Dude, speaking of which, did you guys see that picture of Goldberg from Mighty Ducks today?
Meth works, dude. It's a great.
He looks great, dude. What a diet.
Skinny, yeah.
What a diet.
If you said Mighty Ducks Goldberg, what do you think he looks like today? It wouldn't be that guy in that picture. I would think like, oh, he's huge.
I'd be like, I thought Patrick was him, honestly.
I need skin tips. I
Yeah.
need skin tips, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I mean, good job losing all that weight, but fuck, I mean, you kind of went a little bit too far.
Whatever dude's been taking pictures at LOL, he's really been capturing how fucking fat my face is. And I'm thinking about going on that Mighty Duck diet.
The only thing I could think is that dude that got hooked on meth from the Mighty Ducks. He can't play goalie anymore.
Nah, man.
What, because he's too fragile or because he's too quick?
He's
you know
too
what I mean?
thin, man. They'll shoot right around him.
They'll shoot
He used
right
to be
around
big.
him, dude. They'll fucking break him in half.
Dude, he didn't even have to wear pads before.
Yeah.
He wasn't playing at a professional level, though.
He was playing with Emilio Estevez. I think he was.
What's funny is that I just heard about that story, and then I also heard that they're doing a reboot of the Mighty Ducks or
Really?
something. That they're gonna bring Emilio Estevez. Like, obviously Emilio Estevez is the only one that could do it. It's not like they're all gonna play like fucking kids hockey or whatever the fuck. But I mean, why? Why do that Mighty Ducks movie now?
I have an idea.
Why?
Mighty Ducks. Why? Why do you have an idea?
Why?
Mighty Ducks
Valid. I mean,
and Karate Kid together in a remake.
are you just thinking of like Ultimate Fighting on Ice?
The Karate Ducks on ice. Yeah. Yeah, they just beat the shit out of each other with ice skates on, and there's points. Oh man!
Well, what
To
did he
be
get?
fair,
What did
if
he
you
get
win the
arrested
fight-
for though?
Was that?
What did he get arrested for? He was like robbing something,
Oh yeah, I think it was like an assault, like armed
breaking
assault
it?
or something. Yeah.
Oh shit!
He went into the middle of the street and read out a Luke Malden post on. And they just arrested him for drunkenly conduct.
I was gonna say the whole opinions and all this stuff, but I don't know what it is. So that joke.
It's fine. We love you, Luke. Whatever.
Yeah, it looks good. But yeah, he looked kind of bad. How old is he now, though? Like,
I don't know. He looks.
87. Yeah, like I don't.
he looks fucking
He doesn't look
ridiculous.
great. He looks like he passed the tipping point.
How old
of-
were you when that movie came out?
I don't know. What was that? Like 94?
Jesus, you just rattled that off on the top of your dome.
Yeah, I
What was that? Like 94? I had just gotten through high school. Like,
Bitch, I'm not that old, man.
He's probably like 45, dude.
Damn, he looks really bad.
you know who came back like surprisingly well? Macaulay Culkin. That dude looked pretty decent after.
Who's he married to?
I don't know. He's married to the game, man.
To that meth game.
I haven't seen him, but like the last picture that I saw of him, he wasn't doing too good. He wasn't like he looked like him and Goldberg shared a
See,
cell.
he looked like that, and then he did that commercial for like Google Home, and where it was like Home Alone themed, and he looked fucking great in that.
I haven't seen that. But
You
good.
in love with Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah, it sounds like he looked
Maybe
great
I mean,
in that. You know,
I take skin tips from
He
him.
looked incredible.
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, you at one point in his really bad drug use, you guys had the same skin.
I know.
So-
I know.
So
I was
that's
like,
what-
I would look good in that jacket.
You're like, if he could bounce back, anybody can.
The only difference is you were a child brainwash star, and then he was like a child famous star, and he never wears flat bill hats.
That's true.
Those are the only two differences.
And MJ never touched you.
Hey, we don't know that.
We don't know. But what about this Kobe thing, man? What do you think about that?
Dude, no bullshit. I was watching the news with my dad, the Kobe news,
Yeah.
And he honestly, he was like,
jealous?
he was jealous. Thank you for stealing my joke. Can we edit that out? I told him that the other day.
Wait, you didn't tell me this?
I told you that,
No,
dude.
you didn't.
I told someone.
It just crossed my mind.
But he was sitting there and he was like looking at the TV, and I was like, this motherfucker looks jealous. Like, he was just like, can you believe this? And I was like, can't you?
Dude, helicopter rides are only $20, bro.
Dude,
That's
Speaking
pretty
of
funny,
which,
this is the pilot's fault.
That being said, I did see a helicopter rides for $20, and I was like, that's way too fucking cheap.
that is way too
Way
cheap.
too cheap. I would not trust that helicopter.
I didn't think there could be that cheap. I thought it was like within the hundreds or something.
That's like when Frontier like flies you somewhere for like $50, and I'm like, dude, I thought gas was more expensive than this. What the fuck is
Dude,
this?
all
noise?
they do is just take you in a fucking circle and bring you down, dude. They're not taking you to, where do you think they're taking you? Like Buena Vista? Like they're just taking you around in a circle, and they're just,
Damn, I didn't know they had Taco Buenos in Connecticut.
Nah, but the thing that I was talking about though was like the Ari Shaffir, how Ari Shaffir got in so much shit because of all the posts that or the one post in the video that he did, like just like talking shit like immediately after he fucking like after the news broke out. And yeah, it was bad taste and stuff, but I think it made it worse after news of who else was on the helicopter and stuff. You know, because he said, "Oh, Kobe this, Kobe that," you know, and then he's like, "Oh, what about everybody else that was on that fucking helicopter?" But he got fucking dropped by his agency or whatever.
Well, supposedly he does that for every famous person that dies.
Yeah, man, like he's just a known troll.
I have a buddy named Skylar who every time someone dies, he puts a pun with their name. And like he's like, if Kobe Bryant was blank, he'd be blank.
Yeah.
And it just always has like, it's like a spinoff on their name. And it's always great. It's never like mean. It's not like targeting them. But it's like always funny.
Yeah,
And I don't know. This was like,
it just wasn't.
it was different. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not for canceling anybody. I don't.
No,
you know
I'm,
what I mean?
I'm not for canceling anybody.
Yeah, it was like so easy how everybody like, really got pissed off, like all these lame ass Kobe jokes, and I didn't see any from like anybody that wasn't Ari Shaffir, but like a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's too soon to make jokes." I mean, well, I don't know, it's too soon to be making jokes, and like it's really hack. If you need like a tragedy to make a joke, like you really need to work on your writing and shit.
See, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think if a joke is a funny joke, it should work.
Yeah. Want to hear mine?
I was actually gonna ask you guys, what's the funniest joke you've seen or heard? If you've heard any about Kobe that you thought was actually done pretty well, because I know one that comes to mind.
What is it?
Jay Whitecotton's about the Spurs, like good for the Spurs in solidarity with Kobe, lost last night.
Yeah, that's a
Or
safety
something like
thing
that.
because like it's Kobe adjacent, you know.
But it's still a Kobe joke after his death.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. I thought that was a well done joke.
That's the Latin X of jokes.
the Latin Eckies, please.
I thought that was a well done joke.
So ones like that, I find funnier than ones just being like, fuck him, or like, it took him 41 years to learn how to pass. Like, okay, dude, like I've only read that 37 times. Like, it's like those things where people just copy things and put them in their stat, or they see a meme and they just put it as a status. Like, what do you think? We've never seen the meme before? Like,
Right.
So I like that. I don't know. Like the Kobe jokes are lame, I think.
I thought they've all been
And
pretty
honestly, like
terrible.
we all were like, first of all, he didn't outlive my dad, which is crazy. And like we all grew up watching him. You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
was a part of all of our lives.
Yeah.
So,
Like, it was
like-
just amazing to watch. Like the one, he was so young. He was only 41 years old, which was like, God damn it, dude. And then whoever his daughter was on the plane, which made it so much worse.
That's really sad.
So much worse, man. Like you just imagine like that whole situation, like knowing what's about to happen. You know, see all that go on. Like, that just
They
made it
didn't
fucking
know.
worse.
They had no idea what was about to happen.
And I refuse to read, like, reports about it or, like, see, like, footage. Everybody's like, have you seen the footage? Like, you want to see the wreckage? Like,
That wasn't real. That wasn't real footage.
I hope you say it like that when people ask you, like, I refuse.
Yeah.
I am a Kobe death denier.
Like,
Yeah.
But not
I
like,
identify as refusing. They're like, all right.
not like, but people want to get sassed. Like, well, this is what happened. It was kind of like the pilot's fault or not the pilot's fault or
It
whatever.
was totally the pilot's fault.
But to me, I'm just like, what does it matter? You know, like the reports and all that stuff. Like, either way,
Home dude was scud running. He should have been scud running. That's
what's scud running?
He was like underneath the clouds
yeah.
and like
Okay,
he was
I got
trying to avoid that, and they gave him special directions, and then he was like, I'm gonna do this, and then they never heard back from him.
See, you just got the full report.
Yeah.
Okay.
Refuse that, motherfucker.
I still don't buy it. I mean, I don't want to look at
You
pictures.
still don't buy it? What do you think, a missile hit it?
Well, and that was another thing, man. People trying to make
Like Tim Duncan was just out there, like, payback.
People were doing all
Paul
these
Pierce was just
conspiracy
shooting
theories.
shit bombs out of the finals pants. Like, what are you talking about?
Now you'll see people with like conspiracy theories, like trying to like put like all the numbers together, like 13 and 24 and 8, and it means this. And I was like, that was another thing. Like people try to make conspiracy theories about it. Like, why do people need to make things? I mean, it was a plane crash. It was an accident. You know, like why does it have to be like?
But if you back into another car, your insurance is like, what happened? Like they're not just like, you know what, things happen. It was an
Insurance is
accident.
like,
I'll be like, I don't believe in reports.
Yeah,
so
I refuse to fill out this report.
Fill out the report.
I refuse to give an insurance report.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Mr. Huerta.
Yeah, they're just like, all right, about 240, like 5, you know,
I was like,
8.
give me that. I'll fill it out myself. 200.
35.
35.
He's like, on Tinder, I'm 6 foot. Man, it's crazy. The cool thing about this is if you're listening to this, you might have a drink next to you. Just like these two guys in this room have drinks next to them, and I have nothing because I got here within the 30-minute window.
No. I'm calling bullshit because right now when you're listening to this at
Okay.
your house, you're going to have a drink next to you.
Nobody listens to podcasts at home, Potter. They're in their car.
You will.
Nobody listens to this one.
Yeah, that's why, dude, I'll straight up give my social security number out on this. I know.
Like you just like you put it out here so for your safety.
Yeah,
so
so I can remember
So you can
it.
remember it. 'Cause, nobody. No. Thank you for listening. I'm pretty sure there's about 20.
Yeah, Mary P. and Ryder,
40
thanks.
people. You think Ryder listens? You think Ryder listens?
I don't know. I know he is probably the only person that listens to our podcast. You know what I love is that Potter's sitting here doing this podcast and not editing our fucking podcast. Isn't that great?
Yeah, let's talk about your podcast. What's your podcast?
You know who else isn't editing? The other dude saying that. Like that's what I think is hilarious about that.
You know what's crazy is he was like, I'm going to do this for us. This is going to
And
be
then it was like 5-6 hour chunks at a
For
time for
us.
editing, and I was like, I'm done with that real quick.
You know what I'm realizing now? It was a great idea to have y'all both on at the same time so y'all could discuss this on my podcast.
I wish this table wasn't so wide so we could arm wrestle.
Yeah,
And then if I won, he had to go home and not do
What's it
mics
feel
and
like
edit.
being a marriage counselor right now?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
This isn't marriage. This is about like y'all are about to wrestle. Like y'all are just finding a reason to wrestle. So like you get
shit.
the anger up.
It's not
You
love.
cannot
it's-
match my style.
I'm gonna rip that sweater.
No, so we're. Hey man, don't fuck with my sweater, dog. It's Jordan, dog. Okay, that shit ain't even funny,
He's like, yo, bro, you made my list.
dude. No, so we got a podcast called "Please Ignore What I Just Said." There's 4 of us. Justin, you mentioned him earlier. He couldn't be here because he was performing for a cat. And can you imagine? Someone's like, "How's comedy going?" You're like, "Well, I drove 45 minutes." I drove 45 minutes, and there was a room of 7 other people that also drove 45 minutes to do this show, and then nobody was listening. Like, they're doing off the cuff right now.
Yeah, man.
But, so Justin, myself, Potter, and then we have a producer named Jimmy. Right now, the episodes that we have out right now, there's a lot of just shit talking, and that's all. That's why we have to edit so much because we're just like, you know who I can't stand, blah 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 blah, and then so that's why it's just. I think we get bored.
Let me name some people around me I hate.
Yeah, dude, and don't listen to anything Patrick says because he was like the worst one. We play a little game called Who's Your Least Favorite Local Comic, and Patrick was like, oh. I'm loaded, and he just like started firing names out
I had
there.
about
He's like, and
3.
here's why. I don't even like this guy's skin color.
No, that is not true. Now you're gonna make me edit, and this will never come out.
Hey, well, edit mine while you're at it. So.
Well, it's a good thing we didn't promote any dates or nothing because that already happened.
Yeah.
And shit.
So we've got 2 right now. I've got 1 and then the one you're on. So when I'm done with those, we're basically gonna, I think, kind of move to not editing. Editing.
Yeah,
is just a
we have
bitch, man.
we have like a new format where we're just not gonna like edit anything, and it's like one of us is gonna take a lead on one episode a month, essentially.
Oh, that's good.
Like the way Jimmy does it, Jimmy actually like puts all of our files separately as one huge. So like him talking for a podcast is like 2 gigs of him talking.
Oh wow.
And I have to load that along with 3 others into one program, and it gets fucking laggy as hell. It takes forever.
Why don't you just bounce it before to one file and then edit all that?
Because I have to download all to combine them to one file.
You know you can download while you're at work, right?
You know you could too.
I don't have a computer. Tell me how to do it on my phone, and I'll do it.
I'll give you one. I'll give
No,
you
you
like an
won't.
old ass.
Do
one.
it.
Yeah, I have
do
like
it.
old ass.
Okay. If it works, I'll do it.
Yeah.
All right, so going back to
No, fuck that.
I refuse.
I refuse.
As a joke, who would you? Oh, we can't do this. It would require editing.
Don't touch that.
I was gonna say, whose jokes would you will to Joey that he has to do?
Be careful how you answer this because we have to write a set for you for Friday. So
is that happening? Friday's like in
that's
2
totally-
days.
yeah,
I need to.
You can have-
You don't need to prepare.
you can have a piece of paper with you and just read.
It's probably better that way.
My wife is such a C or whatever.
So
we
here-
make you say.
So here's the thing. I lost really bad in fantasy football,
I beat Joey. Just
and I think for next time, I think the set should already be made, and then that would be like read all this stuff. Oh, hold on, wait. You haven't even heard the rest
they
of it.
can't hear this.
So they can't hear me saying no. Potter's saying nodding his head no, or no, shaking his head no. You don't nod no, do you?
I refuse.
He refuses. I think a shit set should be made and put in place before the season even starts, so everybody knows what the punishment is. Anyway, I lost at fantasy football, and my punishment is to do a shit set that everybody else has to write. This is happening in 2 days, supposedly,
Allegedly.
hypothetically.
It's definitely happening.
And yeah, so now I have to say shit sets. And I also am not allowed to say certain things because of where this is taking place. And I don't think that's being respected.
Wait, I didn't know this. You have to tell me afterwards.
Yo, I just found out how to lean this chair back. I'm killing the game right now. Yo, the funniest thing about you coming in last, though, was like, at one point, I
Yeah.
hit him up about a trade, and I was like, yo, man, what will it take to get Chris Carson?
Yeah, Chris.
And I was ready to give him whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I'm good right now. I'm good. And like, you weren't good. Like, you were the opposite of good.
I just wanted to hold on to Chris Carson. And I wish I didn't now.
Yeah, I would have given you carry on, dude. Like,
Yeah. Like halfway through the season, you had the same amount of losses as like me, Byers, and Joey. Like you were struggling, man.
Yeah, I kind of checked out after like the third week.
third week.
I went all big shit like, oh, the big dirty and all that shit. And by the third week, I was like, the Lastronauts. Fuck it. I don't give a shit.
Right about when you figure out which players are going to be good for the year, that's when Patrick was like, I'm out of here. I refuse to learn about
Well,
this.
all it takes is one injury and a backup, and you're like, I'm back in this thing. I was signing backups left and right, man.
Dude, here's my favorite thing about Joey is Joey would hit you up for a trade. He would pick somebody up off the waiver wire that day, and then he'd be like, hey, man, I'll offer you 3 people for one person, knowing that then you have to cut 2 of those people he just traded you.
Yeah.
So,
I
like,
mean, maybe you had to trade your crappy roster spot. Because here's the thing, man. If you got a bunch of like guys on your roster that you're just holding till they get off of IR or whatever, cut them, and then I'll pick them up too. You know what I mean? That's fine. I'm willing to make that wait. Yeah, but that's that was pretty much my. I mean, it took me to the finals. You know what I mean? I got destroyed in the finals, but it took me there.
Yeah. You won, Potter?
yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
See, here's the thing, though, and this is why I'm mad at Potter, and I feel like he owes me $250. Here's the thing, or at least $200. So, championship happens, right? Week 1, so it's a 2-week championship. Which, by the way, Zach, what the fuck was that about? And it's a 2-week championship. Week 1, I beat him by like what 10 points.
It was like 5 or 6. It was,
Yeah.
it was actually really close.
So I beat him, and he messages me. He goes, "Hey man, congrats on the championship." And in my head, I'm like, "What? Did I just win? Is this not a 2-week game?"
Yeah.
So then I'm like, "Oh, dude, it is a 2-week game." And then he goes, I swear to God, this is a quote, a direct quote. He goes, "Well, either way, man, it shouldn't be, and you should have won it. So I'm gonna give you the money." And then he comes back and wins in week 2, and the dude got like, he was like, "Yeah, I paid for Ashley's haircut with that championship money." I'm like, "Fuck you, dude." He's sending me pictures of his wife's hair. Like, I give a shit. Fucking asshole. I'm like, yeah, dude, if I get that, I'll probably get a new computer so I can edit the podcast. And he's like, yeah, but Ashley wanted these highlights, so, you know.
No, she actually likes Joey now.
Yeah.
That's
She
all
made
it
me
took.
cookies.
Because you're supporting her too. You're like spousal support in
Yeah,
a way.
I hit her up on Venmo every once in a while.
That's nice, man.
She turns you down, but it's fine.
She rejects the money I try and send her.
We're almost friends. We're almost friends on Venmo.
Dude, my wife loves your wife now too. She's like, "Yeah, tell her I said what's up." Like, and she says it like that all the time too.
Yeah,
She's
like so. Here's the deal. Joey has talked about stealing my wife for a long time. The second Joey's wife talked about stealing my wife, I was like, I need to shut this shit down because she could actually do it.
I haven't been invited back over since that. He's like, "Don't bring your wife either." Like,
Hey, I don't make the rules. Ashley does.
So now there's 2-1. They're like, oh man, I don't know, I can't take this pressure.
yeah. At this point, we might just kidnap her. We can fit her in the back of the Rav4 now. So you know, it's
It would make my life nice.
You're gonna get stuck with the kids. I put them kids to work.
You can't take the kids too. I'll put the car seats
I'm
in.
not taking no damn kids, man. They better learn how to take out dents. No eye sleeve with the wrist. With the wrist.
You have more questions on there?
Yeah, I found out while we were away, Joey, that Potter, he put on like,
I didn't put this on there.
you obviously did because it wasn't me. Like, what is that fucking thing? Oh, for Anchorman, like he'll read anything that's on the prompter. Like he thought I was really gonna read this shit, and to be honest, I almost did because it's pretty close to my handwriting.
What did it say?
I tried to. So I write in all caps. I tried to match your handwriting.
Good job for you. Like you almost tricked me, pretty much. It says Pepsi Dick, which is his Potter's #1 joke.
What is he gonna get a fucking T-shirt with that on it? Like, come on, dude.
I think that's a good T-shirt. And then
It's good pants.
yeah. Good pants. It just says Pepsi Dick. #1 joke from Potter, quotable. And why does Joey smell like a woman in heat? Dude. And to be honest, because I was like, just in case there was a lull in the conversation, I was like, you know, Kobe, Ari Shafir. And then I'm really digging White Claws, like so much that I'm like, oh, maybe this gluten-free diet ain't bad, but I'm not going to do that. Then he just put Pepsi Dick, which kind of threw me off because I was like, why would I write down Pepsi Dick? And then I realized, oh, that's his bit. And then why does Joey smell like a woman in heat?
I feel like that's not a bad smell. I'm not even mad about that.
It's bad.
Is it?
Was
bad?
that like because you're not in heat?
Maybe Potter just doesn't like the way women smell.
But here's the thing: you've only
Maybe
been
I
with
just
one.
don't like
You've only
women.
been with one
You
woman.
don't like women.
You've only been with one woman, so you're like
Yeah.
you're like a woman in heat is that she could just come home and smell like bourbon and hit you, and you're just like, I don't like when she smells like this. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what actual sex is, dude.
This must be what all women smell like.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, domestic violence is when a woman hits a man, and that's it.
I've been telling people help about this domestic violence thing for a long time, but everyone just laughs at me.
To help you with domestic
Yeah.
violence? Like to help you achieve domestic
Yeah.
violence?
Just tell me it's you.
I'll help you.
It's a 2-player. I need the second controller to tag in.
Dude, I'll help you. I'll take your wife off your hands, man. I'll help you out right now.
I don't think you could, man.
Dude, I made a comment like that in front of Larry, and he's like, "Oh, you're comfortable saying those things?" And I was like, I do it
That's
all the
exactly
time.
what I said.
This is my favorite thing.
Because that's a white guy thing. Has
No.
to be.
No.
No, well, let me finish.
Potter's like, I
I
have plenty of
refuse.
friends that don't do that.
I refuse. I refuse. Justin doesn't do it. No, Chuck.
All right, just to let the listeners, the listener, know what's going on with
Mary,
this.
this is what's going on.
Mary, this is what's up.
Mary.
So the four of us, Potter, Smith, and Byers, and myself, we have a group chat, and it gets pretty rowdy sometimes. And there's sometimes where we go like, oh, you know that line you're not supposed to cross? That's it. And it seems to be that I'm the only one that says that line you're not supposed to cross. There it is. Because they will go off and say, your wife this, I'm going to take your wife, I'm going to take your girlfriend. And I have to remind these guys, hey, Hispanics don't play that shit, dude. So that's the thing that goes on. And now they're passing notes. And I feel left out.
We're just talking shit about you. My note literally says that Patrick's forehead still looks huge with a hat on. That's it's so big, dude.
Okay. Here's my favorite thing is I was sitting with Patrick at the Blind Tiger one night, and he was like, "Yo, man, you white people are weird, man. You guys talk about fucking each other's wives all the time." And I was like, "No, that's not a white people thing. That's a Joey thing. I refuse to have it be a white people thing."
Well, you got to understand, man. I don't have that
Do
many.
it for the culture.
You know. Yeah, do it for the culture. It's like y'all trying to like repopulate. Like, y'all minorities are taking over. I've had enough of this shit. So
Yeah.
let's just swap wives and keep the bloodline going.
That's why we swing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why white people swing.
Exactly. You know,
The only white people swing.
Yeah.
cross pollination and all that stuff. I don't know. But yeah, that's the one thing we're like, nah, man. Like, we've shared some pretty dark stuff, and like we all joke about it just because we're trying to make each other laugh. But that thing is like, dude, I don't play that shit.
I don't know how I get away with it. I guess I'm just so lovable and funny that people are like, whatever. The funny man said it. No, it's honestly funny for me because it's just like if somebody in the group doesn't have a shot, it's me. So it's just like, whatever. Like I had sex with all your wives, and then you're just like, okay, little retard. Like you like give me a little pat on the head, and it's all fine, you know. So
back to that. Whose set would I make you do? It would be Eric T. And you have to do all his mannerisms, all his jokes.
stop playing with me.
Yeah. In fact, if I ever get the set list for whatever I'm supposed to do on Friday, I'm gonna deliver it Eric T style.
Okay, so here's why
As
I
a
don't
tribute.
here's why I don't agree with
This
you
is a
that we should have a set list going into who loses, is because I think we should be able to personalize it to who loses. I think we should be able to, if we want to, write jokes for who loses.
I actually just want you to do like a full 8-minute long George Carlin joke, as if you wrote it.
As if I wrote it.
I want you to do the same joke, like keep explaining it for like
Oh, that would be amazing.
like
dude.
explain why it's funny for like 4.5 minutes.
just
after
go
you-
down with
Must
it.
be one big grump to bring us his present so early.
So that should be fun, man. I'm really not looking forward to it. I'm hoping to get it done soon, and I hope I don't get in trouble. Because some people are like, "No, man, you're gonna say whatever we tell you to say," and I'm just like, you know, I can't do that, right?
I mean, I don't think anyone's saying any bad thing. I do know that the jokes they posted on there were not great. None of them were like funny or really like.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of like Ari Shafir Kobe died jokes, you know, not funny.
Honestly, just
Too
go
soon.
read that tweet.
Yeah, right?
That's my contribution to the night is you have to read that tweet out loud and then be like, I see nothing wrong with it.
Do y'all guys not get comedy?
Yeah, that's what you got to do for me.
That should be my tagline to everything after everything. I think though I get to tell the crowd what happened, right? Like what I do.
Oh, I hope not.
Afterwards.
Afterwards, I could see that.
Afterwards,
but even then,
yeah.
I just want you to walk off like that was just the best you could give.
Maybe, man.
That'd be
I
great.
gotta see what I'm working with. I have no idea what I'm working with, and I'm pretty,
So what if you got to read the Ari Shafir tweet? How do you?
pretty nervous.
Because I'm gonna post that idea in the chat, and I'm gonna see how they all. Respond.
You know they're gonna go for it.
Yeah,
You know
you're
they're
welcome.
definitely gonna go for it. I'll do it. I mean, yeah, I'll do it.
Do you feel comfortable reading on stage?
No,
Do you
man.
feel comfortable reading?
No, man. I'm horrible at reading. You think what I do at off the cuff is like planned? Like I slowly read every word and I dissect it piece by piece just to make sure I understand what it is. And a lot of times I don't.
Oh shit!
You
I'm
and
a-
Kabaza should just use like the like a special letter alphabet that only you two understand.
Yeah, just our own language. Like we wound up doing off the cuff at Squeezebox on Monday, and it was a lot easier because he's shouting out topics rather than like, here, read this. Because one, he doesn't spell everything correctly. And two, it's not, I don't say it correctly. You know, like you put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable or whatever.
Syllable. Oh shit! We did it again.
And then I'm just like, I don't understand these words. So it throws me off a little bit. But yeah, I'll read it. But I do want to like kind of have an idea of it. So it's not like sight reading, you know?
Yeah,
That'll be fucking
I want
hard.
you to read that tweet verbatim.
All right, you can
Just
suggest,
like, hey guys, I read the greatest thing over the weekend.
suggest it to the group and we'll see what I got to do.
I mean, either way, that's part of my 5 minutes, and I was in the championship, so I feel like I get like 2 or 3 votes on that. So
Yeah, that should be a thing too. Like the people who like as far as ranking, they get like the veto or they get the priority to whatever the set list is. Is it 5 minutes? What is it?
yeah, I think it's fine. What are you doing at the Tiger?
That?
That's all you're doing is 5 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel like it'd be great if you did 5 minutes of your own material and you're like, let me break this out real quick. And then you did that.
I am not doing my own shit in line with that stuff. I don't want people to get the wrong impression.
Yeah,
that,
so
like,
just having one big bad impression is even better than being like, that first part was okay, and then he really lost me with the Kobe tweet. You're like, it was really hard for me to get back on board with the midget jokes after that, you know? It was,
Yeah. So no, for that I'm just doing purely whatever y'all say I have to say. I'm not gonna try and mix it like here's a little piece of me with that. Like, nah, man. I don't want anybody to get the idea that I believe anything that I am saying at that time.
Good. Now all of my jokes are going to start out with I firmly believe.
I refuse.
I refuse.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Did you guys go to school with anyone who you know for a fact is struggling with a heroin addiction? Like they post about it on Facebook and they make their whole journey very like public.
We didn't go to school together, Joey.
And they're just like 13 days sober, green heart. You know, like they're just green heart, purple heart, depending
Who
on
celebrates 13 days out? I'm sorry, you got to give it a round
13
2.
days is a struggle.
That's
Wait,
like
did
right
you say
around
30
the
or 13?
stop.
I thought you said 13.
13.
Why is 13 days a struggle?
Dude, like 3 days.
Well,
is
I'm
a
not talking
struggle,
about with
man.
heroin. I'm just talking about like anything. With like 13 days alcohol sober,
But dog, you can't wait till 14? 2 weeks even?
every day matters.
So day 15?
Every
Get through
day you
the
should get
full 2 week notice, baby. Now alcohol knows you're not coming back.
Like
Every
if you
day is a
post on
chip.
day 367, I don't give a fuck.
Now, once you get to 367, that's your life. You're just a sober person. Like you're like, 7 years sober. Get the fuck out of it. You don't.
Yeah,
drink
we
anymore.
get it. You go on hikes now. Shut
Yeah,
up,
you don't drink
know?
anymore. Within a year, every day is a celebration of sobriety. I'm not a sober person. I'm just saying, like, if I don't drink on a Sunday, I'm like, good job, man. Like you did. You should be proud of yourself.
But and the crazy thing is, this person has constantly posted like their like how long they've gone sober, and they kind of like ghost out on it for a little bit, and they don't talk about it, and you're like, oh, they're back on that shit.
Yeah.
And then like just out of random, they're like, rest in peace, Aaron, and like they're just like, I'm just 3 days sober now, and you're like, wait, what happened? And you're like trying to catch up. Dude, it's so funny, man.
I kind of that's almost like when a company is like since 2006 and you're like, that's not that long ago, man. Like I
Yeah.
don't have any trust in your company. If you were like, man, I've been sober from heroin for 13 days, I'd be like, what the fuck were you doing 14 days
I
ago?
feel like you need to,
You know,
you need
like
to get out of my house because you're gonna steal something.
yeah, like 13 days ago, you like took your last, I guess, is it a hit of heroin? I
Yeah,
don't know
sure,
what
whatever.
the measurements are.
One free heroin.
A dose.
But
one heroin, please.
Yeah.
but the thing that's funny to me is like when you go back on their Facebook and you just like read the things. Like, so I was on this chick. There's 2 of them on my Facebook right now that I went to high school with, and one of them that posted like probably the funniest thing I've ever seen, and it was a meme that was like, oh, you know, something about when someone stabs you in the back. And then she posted that picture and tagged her sister and was like, yeah, you fucking traitor. And it was the funniest face. I almost loved it. Like I didn't know how to react to it. But I was like, yeah, this is how you know you're back on that shit. Because this is
Damn, man. And she
Dude.
tagged her sister. That's like bitch move, man.
Dude, and like the funniest part was this happened like 13 days ago. And the sister didn't remove the tag. She's like, whatever. Like, we all know your problems.
Dang, man. I had y'all know what a hot shot is?
No, what's that?
Apparently, that's like a lethal dose of heroin or something. I think. I could be wrong. But I found out that my childhood best friend was killed with a fucking like one of those hot shots. Like they give him like a high opponent thing. I guess he was doing it, and then the dose that they gave him like was just like enough to kill him, or was cut with something that was really bad. I was like, fuck, man, that's fucking crazy, man. And
Did he leave you anything?
no, man, we
Just dope ass Jumpman sweater.
No, but I felt so bad because like the sister had told me like, oh yeah, he got a hot shot, and I was like, oh man, I'm so sorry to hear that. And then I had to Google what it was because like she was just like, I was like, oh, that's unfortunate. And
How
then
do you think the sister knew what that was?
they're trying to do a criminal investigation.
When was this?
This was a couple years ago.
14 days ago.
They're still investigating this?
Oh, I don't know, man. by way of mutual friends, I found out that this guy had passed, and just randomly, it just so happened to be like randomly. I was just thinking about him because I was trying to do a Facebook search to see what he was up to, and I found his sister, and there was all these posts from like a year prior saying R.I.P. brother's name, and I was like, what? And it just fucking bugged me. So I reached out to her. I was like, I'm just now finding out about this. I'm very sorry. My condolences. You know, our family always loved your brother. And that's when she came back like, yeah, we're still under criminal investigation. We're trying to find out. You know, we think it was a hot shot. And we're like, oh, fuck. Like,
Damn.
A hot shot honestly sounds like a great time with that name. So that's really sad that they took it and used it for something not good.
well, it's probably a good time for the one getting it. It's not a good time for the people that have to find the
Dude, a
body.
hot shot sounds like you get to sit in the front at a drive-in movie theater. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you
What's
get...
up, hot shot?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like,
I just picture somebody way cooler than you being like, "What's up, hotshot?"
yeah, what's up, hot? Like you're in the front of the movie theater. Like you have a convertible. You got the freshest popcorn. They're only bringing you fresh popcorn.
Yeah.
Free
You've
refills.
never been in that scenario. It's like you've never been to a drive-in movie
I've
theater
never
in a
been
convertible.
complimented before. Like people are just like, "What is wrong with you?"
And yet
all
you're still
the
Mr.
time.
Brightside. Like, oh, that sounds great, man. I would love a hot shot right now.
Yeah. They're just like, "This is what a hot shot is," and I'd be like, you know what? If they refer to me as a hot shot, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, you can always the brighter side of things. I like that.
Dude.
You're like a glass half full type of person.
My boss was telling me today I'm too jaded for my age. And I was like,
Bitch. What do you say to that without being jaded?
And that's because he thinks you're in your 30s.
I was. That's really funny. He's like, yeah, you got at least 5 more years for things go real bad. You start looking like Pat. I'm 30. Just kidding. I'm 37. No, I don't know what I was saying.
Your boss says you're too jaded for your.
Oh yeah, what did I say to that? I was just like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "It's okay, it's funny." And I was like, "All right, I guess." And so, because I'm real big on like he'll say something, and I'm just like, "Dude, none of this matters." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Dude."
I think it's because you say shit like that all the time. Like, none of this matters. We're all gonna die. God is dead. Like,
Well, you know, those are the first 2 rules of life, guys. You know what I mean? None of this matters. God's dead. But he was like talking about like some business relationship like ending or whatever, and I was just like, "Hey man, I just hope you know like none of this matters. Like the oceans are full of trash. They're all full of trash. Like there's dolphins that are fighting over parking spaces with trash bags. Like you know what I mean? Like they're not
Yeah.
even. None of that's going well. Assyria is like they're just wait like. They're writing like a rap song right now to come at us so hard.
Yeah.
And we're just like, you won't. Like we're Emineming them. We're just like, I've never heard anyone say, yo, play that Syria song. And like they're just like they're sitting in the studio so mad right now.
Yeah.
And like we're just like Australia is like a cigarette butt right now. And we're just over
Australia looks like my face.
and this dude's over here like, well, you know, the Doors. Like, no one cares, man. Like, shut up.
Like he's like, my life is all this because he's like really like self-reflecting. You're like,
Yeah.
fucking turtles are taking our straws away, dude.
I just like he doesn't like he's so preachy, but he doesn't put anything in perspective.
Yeah.
Like I'm 25 and I'm having a good time.
Are
And
you? 25?
25? Yeah.
Let me just tell you, whatever movie you guys are referencing earlier, I've never even seen Mighty Ducks all the way through. So I just want you guys to know that right now. And like you were like, it happened in '94, and I was like, I was born at the end of '94.
Well, I
and
just found out
Yeah. Could have fooled me, man.
yeah, well, I mean, looks can be
94,
deceiving. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Mr. Brightside, your boss.
That's how over it I am. Well, who cares? Let's go do heroin.
Hotshot?
Let's go do heroin. I almost said her name like 3 times. I felt like it would have been funny, but
I'm so glad I have a fear of needles.
Dude, I have a phobia of needles, actually.
Okay, you want to one up my fear?
Yeah, like I freak out.
No,
I can't-
mine's a phobia.
I
not
can't see
really
it.
a fear.
Like I can't see him. I have to like tell the doctor and like I have to look away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I can't see him. I'll freak out.
Yeah, I used to be that bad, but that's why none of my recreational stuff comes in needles. I mean, like you can't. I just can't. I mean,
I wouldn't
you
be
could
able to.
sell me on it, and then once you say like, oh, but you gotta use a needle, I'm like, all right, never mind.
Dude, I'm the same with like contacts. Dude, like if my eyes ever go, it's gonna be glasses or nothing. I can't do contacts. I can't put that shit on my eyes.
Your skin's gonna be too wrinkly to hold up glasses.
It just slides right off.
Potter looks
I
like
got
a human.
goggles.
Potter looks like a
I got
human
basketball
Sharpay, dude.
Holy shit. Oh, that it's times like this that I wish this was like a video format because it would make more sense with the context. But yeah.
I mean, just look up leather bag. It's literally Brendan Potter's solid
That's his
5-minute
headshot.
set. He's talking about Sour Patch Kids. You'll see it. Oh man, dude! At LOL last night, there was this dude that I had never seen before, but he like introduced himself to all of us. He seemed pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like he was like chill or whatever. And like later on in the night, he was like trying to talk to me again, but I could tell that he had done a little bit of drinking. And I was like, whatever, like, you know, everyone drinks. And I was like, is this your first time doing this? And he was just like, no. I've been doing this my whole life. And I
Oh
was
God damn it.
The
What?
jokesters?
No, this is at LOL.
Oh.
And he was like, I've been doing stand-up since I was 8 years old. And I was just like, and I wanted to be like, hey man, you can turn it off. And he was just, I was like, cool, man. And I started walking away and he was like, I'm just kidding, man. It's my first time. And I was like, oh, okay, well, cool, man. That's like, just, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. I was like, none of us are any good, so you'll have a good time. And then he was like, I just feel bad, you know, like I feel like I took somebody's spot. And I was like, fuck these guys, dude. I was like, dude, these guys are going to be here every week. None of us get anything out of doing this. And this dude said the funniest thing. He was like, I thought we got free food. And I look over at his table,
What?
and he had like 3 baskets of fries, dude. He bought 3 baskets of fries.
He thought he got free food.
Supposedly, dude.
The dude you're talking about, I know who you're talking about. He had a few tables, like full. He had a lot of people out there
Yeah.
to see him. And
Those
can't-
are all the people that told him he should do stand-up.
And I can't stand when people do that, especially for the first time. Like,
What? No, he brought a crowd. That was cool of him.
well, I
You're
didn't
not bringing a crowd.
No, not to open mic, but then I couldn't get on the list because him was on the list.
Him
Oh
was
yeah.
on the list.
So if he was the 7 other people that didn't even stay until they were
For
done with the
sure,
list.
for
What card
sure.
did you have?
I had a queen.
Dude, I made it. I was the only jester that made it on the list, dude.
Joker?
Jester. The Joker's there's only 2 Jokers in a deck.
Oh, yeah. So it's not Joker, it's Jack.
Oh yeah, Jack.
That's what threw me off. I was like,
who
Jester.
gives a fuck, dude?
I'm
Ray
sorry
Lewis
that I
now?
said Joker. That's the closest to Jester. My bad.
Yeah.
They're the same thing. You
The
know?
problem was you have so many wrinkles on your face. I couldn't figure out which mouth it was coming out of, and it was really throwing me off. I was like, "Who's talking to me right now?"
Oh man.
No, but I got it. I was the only Jack that got to go up, and I went second. It was
Yeah.
dope, dude.
LOL. This last time at LOL was the first time.
Don't
that
give
I was
away
like,
the secret of what happened.
Well, it was It was the first time that I was like, you know what? I'm on board with Patrick. There are too many fucking people coming out to comedy.
It's just because like there's so many like people just doing Tuesdays, and that's the one that I really want to get on because that's the one that like management looks at, and hopefully you can get on a show or do opening spots. But and then the list is
Hey,
like,
you don't
so
have to
short.
worry about getting on a show.
Thanks, man.
Just kidding. No, none of us do. It's okay.
I'm not worried about it right now.
We're not Dallas. We don't get. We're not going nowhere.
I'm not the dude with the cape. Whoever that dude is.
Oh man, did he get on the list?
Yeah.
He got on the list? See, that pisses me off. That pisses me off. One, because he never talks about the cape. Why are you going to wear a cape and not talk about the cape?
He talked about it last week when he didn't wear the cape. He was like, it's in the washing machine.
He's like, these jokes don't make sense without my cape.
I was serious. That's what he said.
And if I saw him like out in the real world without a cape, I wouldn't recognize him. I just know him
I
because
didn't
of the
recognize him either.
Dude, so he's like a reverse Batman. You only recognize him, or Superman. You only recognize him with the cape now.
cape. Yeah. Wow, you're disguised.
when he's
That's
just.
honestly really funny. That's like that's hilarious.
That's a smart way to run your life because then people only notice him when he's on stage. They don't
Yeah.
notice what he's like. It's like Clark Kent when he put the glasses on. People
My
were like,
favorite was the Joker showed up yesterday.
That was so
pretty
weird.
great.
Did he get? I didn't stick. I didn't stick
He
around
got
the
a
show.
card.
Yeah, I just saw you and Byers, and then I was like, all right, let me get out of here.
thanks, I was there too, but you know.
You didn't get up.
I know. I thought you were just like, thanks. I just saw
Dude,
like you and
should've-
Myers.
You should have went to the bow.
I mean, when the week before there was 28 people on the list, I was like,
It wasn't.
that and I could return my credits for the night.
Oh yeah, you
I had,
call me
like,
with tokens now.
Yeah.
You're one to call me the Peter Piper guy because you're fucking living your life with tokens and tickets right now.
I basically had like an unopened CD I could still return to Walmart.
You're like, hey Han, is it cool if I use my what's the Mila Jokovic card from the old movie that was before I was born?
What in the world
I
are you
have no
talking
idea.
about, dude? The Mila Jokovic.
She's in a movie.
I don't even know who that
I don't
is.
even want this to be on the podcast, honestly. I'm about to just text you what I'm talking about.
Can you take Mila Kunis's obscure reference off?
All right.
Ridiculous.
No, you don't have to edit. I'm just saying that she's in a multipass.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dude,
Oh, yeah.
Fifth Element.
Yeah, Fifth Element. You're like, hey Ashley, multipass. It's like Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can hit more than one mic in a night.
She scans it. Okay, that's back on the board.
She's like, all right, don't ask to go nowhere tomorrow. He's like, I'll watch the kids. What's Ashley like to do for fun?
Me.
Don't be surprised
I don't
if she's
think that's-
kayaking with me and Sarah.
The most surprising thing about that would be you kayaking.
I saw one at a pawn shop the other day.
You know, that's like a exercise and shit, right?
Not if you go with the current.
Yeah.
And you never fight against it.
Yeah, that's just like swim driving. Oh, that's me. I'm the swim driver.
His would just be like a Viking funeral. Like you could just light it on fire. He's never coming back. He
Yeah.
just float out to sea.
Yeah, if someone was like, hey man, you got to push yourself for 30 minutes or you're going to die, I'd be like, 30 minutes? We'll see. I'm not going to make any promises.
Yo, if I push myself for 30 minutes, I will die.
I will.
Yeah, I mean, dude. Yeah.
If I'm out longer than 30 minutes, just set it on fire.
Dude, they said tomorrow
Shoot a bow and arrow.
tomorrow at work we have to take these like 40 doors up those like those external elevators outside of buildings
Yeah.
that people die in all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta take doors up this tomorrow. I'm like, dude, this is my second to last day. Like, what are you guys trying to do to me?
Dude, if you died on your second to last day of work, I'd love it.
Jesus Christ, man.
Well, maybe you'd get booked, so there'd be one less comic.
We need another white guy.
And they'd be like, anyone with talking about their parents?
I'd be like, hey, Sarah, I left a Jumpman sweater in.
She'd be like, no, you didn't. Stop it. We all know that's not your sweater.
Oh, shit. This was fun, guys.
Yeah, it was a blast,
It was
man.
a good time.
Thanks for coming back on. Thanks for helping me do the return of the BarbacoaCore Podcast.
So what's going on with X Lives? Can I have that or what?
Yeah, you can have it, man. It's just like I felt really bad, like
I can
pinning
edit it.
people to a certain like topic. Like fuck topics, right? I thought it was a good idea, and I just think it's kind of hard to force people to let's talk about your fucking shit that you want to forget about, you know?
Yeah.
And plus, I just wanted to bring it back, the whole BarbacoaCore thing. I think
I
it's
like BarbacoaCore, man.
Yeah, man, it's just loose, no
Are
topics.
you still gonna do the network though?
No, that's another thing. I need to not spread my time out so much because that's not really working.
How is just you hosting a server spreading your time out?
No, because I was gonna start recording other people's podcasts,
Oh, that's not your
producing that, and then like doing their editing and all that stuff.
No, none of that's your
No,
problem.
don't do that.
I
I got ideas for you afterwards. I want to talk to you about it afterwards on this.
Let's actually just give all of our good ideas away. I'm actually working on a joke right now. It's like, no, I'm just kidding.
Let's do the social media shows. Do it again.
Damn,
Before
you're
we
really
wrap
just
up.
going to rub it right in again. All right.
Yeah, I got some shows coming up. I'll post them on Instagram at thejoeysmith9000. Every Friday, or most Fridays, I'm at the Blind Tiger Comedy Club, either helping with the door or hanging out or just getting some drinks. It's a great time. We're in the basement of the Magic Time Machine. Cheap drinks. Yeah, I mean, if you've never been out there, give it a shot, and I promise that you'll have a good time because that's what we're all about.
Yeah, man. My Instagram, Twitter is Pots on Fire. Like I said, I'm in between shows. I have a couple posts up on misconnections. No, I'm joking. No, but support local comedy, man. We all need it.
Cool. And you're also at the Blind Tiger most Fridays.
Yeah, most Fridays I basically like LOL, Jokesters, La Lucha, Blind Tiger.
Don't talk about the open
Yeah,
mic.
plug the open mics,
Plug the open
asshole. What are you
mics, dude.
doing?
That's what I thought you were looking for. Like, oh wait, you're at this one place. Yeah. All right.
Also, everything in this was a joke. I didn't mean to hurt anyone's feelings. Dallas, I love you. It was all a joke. Calm down.
Cool.
Except for the Kobe stuff.
So
Wink.
I just
Heard.
said like don't mention the open mics, but I was like I'll be hosting this open mic this Thursday
You douche.
at La Lucha. Sign up La Lucha.
Isn't that wouldn't that
Mike
just be
at
tonight because
Gmail.
you're gonna put this out tomorrow?
Well, I'm trying to make them sign up weekly, even if I'm not hosting. I want that mic to kind of like grow and flourish and become.
I don't like signing up ahead of time.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. And then February 12th, I'll be like at Halcyons. I think that's how you say it, at the Blue Star Art Complex.
Wait, when is that?
February 12th.
I like that place.
Next Wednesday.
That's
That's gonna be with Jeremy Brown, Nick Bermia.
Who's
and James
throwing that
Martinez. That's a Mind Twist comedy show. Are you on that one too? Joey might be on that one too.
hold on. I
find out.
gotta read the messages. Hold
Wait,
on.
let me check my phone real quick.
Yeah, you might have just got booked for a show as we speak. And
Please
then
stop calling me. No.
Also, February 29th, I'll be back at Las Cheladas with Danny Engel, Mario Salazar, Rudy Barba, and Freddie G. And then also sometimes I'm at the Blind Tiger. Blind Tiger Comedy Club has the shows every Friday, 10 p.m. and midnight. Follow them at Blind Tiger Comedy. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Patrick C. Huerta. And thanks for listening. See you next week.